After a historic year of highly rated game releases, 2024 has some big boots to fill, and so far, it's off to a strong start, as we've seen strong sequels, incredible expansions, and even beloved classic games given the remake treatment. As we're past the halfway point, we thought we'd look back at the 20 best games of 2024 so far. GameSpot's first game to earn a rare 10 out of 10 score in 2024, Shadow of the Erdtree is everything you love about Elden Ring and delivered with perfect execution. Completing the grand story of Elden Ring, this expansion injects new gameplay content, even tougher boss battles, and more awe-inspiring locations into an already superb game. It might look like a cute Metroidvania at first glance, but the deeper you venture into Animal Well, the more surreal it becomes as you find yourself driven to reach the end. Created by solo developer Billy Basso, it's a game of constant surprises as you find yourself driven to explore yet another room in its neon-soaked world. Just when you think you've seen every possible combination from the roguelite genre, a game like Balatro comes along to deliver a pleasant surprise. Rapid-fire rounds of poker combined with deep deck-building mechanics and layers of intricacy beneath its deceptively simple facade. Balatro goes all in on its concept and is difficult to put down once it sinks its fangs into your free time. There was a lot of pressure on Bungie to deliver a satisfying conclusion to Destiny's Light and Darkness saga, but the final shape didn't just live up to those expectations, it stuck the landing with style. A thrilling story, impactful gameplay changes, and a finale that united its community helped push Destiny 2 to new heights. 12 years after the first game came out, Dragon's Dogma 2 builds on the best parts of that sweeping fantasy tale to deliver a magical open-world RPG. It might not be the most innovative sequel, but those core strengths are enhanced by emergent moments, technological leaps, and varied gameplay to create a thrilling sense of adventure. Even in early access, Hades 2 is already shaping up to be a strong Game of the Year contender. Launching with a ton of content right out of the gate, developer Supergiant Games has expanded on the ideas of the first game with an even deeper combat system and an engrossing story. Switching from a top-down twin-stick shooter design to a third-person perspective, Helldivers 2 is an action-packed adventure across alien planets. In a crowded live service environment, developer Arrowhead has delivered a fun romp that's best enjoyed with friends, enhanced by satisfying gunplay, and feels constantly fresh thanks to some clever design. A psychological horror puzzle game, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is one of the year's best cerebral workouts. Cryptic, puzzling, and challenging, the game doesn't just push you to solve seemingly impossible riddles, it tells a heck of a great story with its unique artistic design. It's a testament to the evergreen design of Paper Mario, the Thousand-Year Door, that its gameplay still holds up beautifully 2 decades after it was first released, with several meaningful quality-of-life updates woven into its rock-solid gaming DNA, beautiful HD visuals, and a delightful soundtrack full of clever remixes. This classic Mario game is still just as much fun to play today as it was back in 2004. Long considered to be one of the best Persona games of all time, Persona 3 Reload is a complete remake for the modern age. The best way to experience an all-time classic and one of the darkest stories in the franchise, Persona 3 Reload is a comprehensive overhaul of the game that makes its combat more approachable, upgrades its visuals to provide a slick feast for the eyes, and bundles it all up with an unforgettable soundtrack. After an era of 3D adventures, Prince of Persia's return to its 2D roots feels like a welcome breath of fresh air for the franchise. Smartly incorporating Metroidvania elements into its design, The Lost Crown throws in pitch-perfect combat and a beautifully crafted world for good measure, combining them all into a cohesive whole. The Lost Crown isn't just a thrilling Metroidvania, it's a finely tuned entry in the genre that other games will be looking to for inspiration in the years to come. For the last couple of years, Switch owners have had access to one of the best Atlus RPGs in the form of Shin Megami Tensei 5. At long last, it's now available on other platforms and in an enhanced package that makes a great game even better. Beyond the visual upgrades and welcome quality of life changes, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance will keep your eyes glued to the screen with its expanded storylines and engaging demon collecting gameplay. Just when you think you've seen it all in the sniper genre of games, along comes a title like Children of the Sun to surprise you. A short game that perfectly executes its concept of solving puzzles with headshots, this cerebral shooter is a satisfying blast of fun. If you've been feeling jaded with recent horror games, Crow Country is just the nostalgic slice of terror you've been looking for. A throwback to pre-rendered environments, blocky character designs, and unnerving suspense, Crow Country is a fun mix of 90s-inspired horror and surprisingly modern doses of fear. After years of development following a successful crowdfunding campaign, Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes finally arrived this year. A spiritual successor to the beloved Suikoden series, this retro JRPG is a comfortably familiar throwback to the past, full of beautiful sprites, soul-stirring music, and unique characters. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a blockbuster of a sequel, a bigger and bolder return of Cloud and friends as they continue to defy destiny. While the game makes a few fumbles, they don't detract from the new chapter's impressive visuals, finely honed combat, and exciting deviations from the established series lore. When it comes to wild action, weird scenarios, and storytelling that'll leave you emotionally devastated, few games can compare to the Like a Dragon series. The latest chapter in the mainline series builds on the RPG gameplay introduced in its predecessor, further fine-tuning and polishing the experience so that it can offer a more joyful experience. While the main story does meander in places, this swan song for the legendary Dragon of Dogma has its heart in the right place and offers an incredible amount of side content like Dondoko Island, Sujimon battles, and so much more. We've had some terrific big-budget games this year, but Indika is that surprise indie hit that provides a welcome contrast to the blockbuster approach by AAA studios. A fascinating exploration of religion and philosophy, Indika pulls no punches with its examination of Christianity. Rich characters, a unique visual style, and top-notch voice acting help make Indika one of the year's best thought-provoking titles. Red Barrel's third Outlast game is a major departure from previous entries in the series, successfully evolving from single-player terror to a 4-player PvE game of collective horror. A major shift into new territory, the Outlast Trials retains the core dread of its predecessors and reimagines that unique experience as a group immersion therapy session from hell, with its spine-tingling story and clever gameplay systems. We've seen plenty of roguelike spins on familiar genres over the years, but Ironwood Studios' Pacific Drive is a different beast altogether. Challenging and atmospheric, it has fascinating mysteries to explore inside a wonderfully weird world, while its upgrade mechanics are satisfyingly deep, enough to keep any gearhead invested in its wild ride. So there you have it, the best games of 2024 so far. Let us know what you're going to be digging into, and don't forget to subscribe to GameSpot for all things gaming. There are plenty of awesome titles still to come this year. Thanks for watching.